NUEL Folktales.
Oh, leave me. Leave me. Let me deal with this girl. After all I've done for her, this is how she wants to repay me. Leave me. Leave me alone. Once upon a time, there lived a young girl named Amanda. She was the kind of girl whose beauty made men turn their heads even when she was just 17. Amanda was a decent girl with a quiet nature, the type that was soft-spoken and well-mannered. When other girls her age played and frolicked around, Amanda stayed indoors studying. In fact, she loved to study. She wanted to become a medical doctor when she grows up, but her parents were poor. Her father was a vulcanizer at the market, while her mother sold petty things. While they loved the fact that Amanda was a studious child, they also knew they wouldn't be able to afford to send her to school to study medicine that had always been her dream from childhood. After Amanda finished writing her WAEC, she started helping her mother at the market. She introduced other seasonal fruits and vegetables into her mother's business for them to sell to make extra money. Every afternoon, after studying, Amanda would carry those fresh fruits and vegetables on her head and hawk around the market with no shame at all. Something her age mates never tried because they didn't want to look like local village girls. But Amanda was not the type to care for such frivolities. She believed in hard work and decency. It was one of those occasions where Amanda was hawking her fruits that Emeka, the richest man in the market, set his gaze upon her. Emeka was a billionaire, a major dealer in car tires. Immediately he saw Amanda, he felt a strong connection towards her. She was young, yes, but she was graceful and beautiful, with a good carriage. "This is my wife," he said to himself with all assurance as he stared at her continually. After that day, he went around the market inquiring about the strange beautiful girl hawking fruits in the market, and he was told that she was the daughter of Nnamdi the vulcanizer. "Ah, this should be easy," he muttered to himself. Nnamdi and him were somewhat close. They did business together often as they were both into the tire business. He made up his mind to approach Nnamdi and ask for her hand in marriage. From that day, Emeka bought all Amanda's fruits and vegetables and even gave her extra money, but Amanda refused to take extra money from him, as her mother had taught her not to collect favors from men, as they always wanted something in return. And in this case, Emeka wanted her. Emeka was even more impressed by her decency. She was not just beautiful, but she was well brought up. The next day, Emeka went to Nnamdi's shed, where he did his vulcanizer business, and gave him a big contract that ran into hundreds of thousands, something Nnamdi had never seen before. "Ah, Emeka, thank you, oh my brother. Emeku's my man. God will bless you. You don't know what you have done for my family." Nnamdi thanked Emeka profusely. Don't mention what our neighbors for. This opportunity came and I couldn't take it to another person. "You are my person," Emeka replied. He thought in his heart that if he offered favor to Amanda's parents, it would help his cause. That day, when Nnamdi got home, he told his family about the big contract Emeka had given him, and they were all very happy. But Amanda was particularly very happy because with this contract, her father would be able to buy her jam form. "Papa, remember me, oh. Remember my jam form, oh," she said as she smiled. "My angel, I can never forget. But even with this contract, we still cannot afford to send you to medicine school. But nevertheless, God will make a way for us, oh," Nnamdi said, reassuring his daughter with his soft speech and eyes. For the next couple of months, Emeka kept bringing contract upon contract to Nnamdi's shed. He didn't stop there. Every day, he would visit Mama Amanda's shed in the market and buy plenty things, most of which he didn't need, in a bid to have a glance at his sweet Amanda. his future wife. And every time, he would give Mama Amanda extra money, 10 times more than the amount of his purchase. But Emeka didn't mind. He was a mumu, mumu for love. Emeka, you are too kind. You always give me extra money more than the things you bought. How can I thank you? God will bless you for your generosity towards I and my family. Mama Amanda said to him on one occasion, don't mention. Your family is very close to my heart. Use the extra change to buy something for yourself and for my special friend Amanda. She is such a good girl with good character, Emeka said as he smiled. After a few weeks of dancing round Amanda and her family, he decided to take the bold step to ask for Amanda's hand in marriage. That weekend, Emeka went to Amanda's family's house. He didn't go empty-handed. He bought expensive laces and wrappers for Mama Amanda and chocolate and biscuits that he knew girls liked for Amanda. When he got to the house, he presented the items to Amanda's parents, who accepted with gratitude. Nnamdi offered Emeka a seat and began. Emekus, you know we have known each other for years now, but I can't say I haven't noticed how you have been hovering around my family, especially my daughter Amanda, and the contracts you have been giving me and how you have been giving my wife plenty money. There is no smoke without fire. What is it that you want from my family? No, let me put it straight. What are your intentions towards my daughter? Emeka chuckled nervously. You're a very wise man, Oga Nnamdi. And you have caught me in the act. Let me just bear my mind. I like your daughter. No, I love your daughter. I want to marry her, Emeka said. There was a thick, awkward silence in the living room for a good amount of minutes before Nnamdi decided to break the silence. You love my daughter? Yes, sir. But you already have a woman in your life. What is that her name again? Ijeoma the tailor. She goes around the market parading herself as your wife and fights any woman that comes close to you. What about her? Or are you going to marry her and my daughter together? No, sir. The thing is, I don't love Ijeoma. I never promised her marriage. Although she was there for me when I was still serving my oga and had nothing, but I never promised her marriage. In fact, I told her to marry husband if any husband comes. Oga Nnamdi, if your daughter agrees to marry me, I will settle Ijeoma generously so she can go away, Emeka said. Yes, sir. But my daughter is just 17. She cannot get married now. I want her to go to school first before she gets married. That is not a problem at all. I have money. I can send her to any school of her choice and train her in school by myself, Emeka said with all seriousness. No, that is not what I want for my daughter. I want her to finish school first before she gets married, because marriage comes with a lot of responsibilities. I don't want her to be distracted in school. I'm sorry, Emeka. You have to find another girl, Nnamdi said. Emeka bowed his head in disappointment as if he had just lost a multi-billion-dollar deal. Only that he was about to lose his multi-billion girl, Amanda. There was silence once again in the sitting room until Emeka finally spoke up. I will wait for her, he said. I will train her in school if she agrees to marry me. But you have to promise me that she will not leave me to follow all those small boys after I finish training her. If you allow me, I want to do small something on her head first before she goes to school. I have heard you, Emeka. This matter is a very serious matter that needs deep thought. I will discuss with my wife and get back to you, Nnamdi said. And with that, Emeka left Amanda's house that evening. Shortly after he left, Mama Amanda came into the living room. Apparently, she had been listening to their conversation behind the door. My husband, what do you think about Emeka and what he just said? She asked. My dear, honestly, I don't know. Our daughter is still too young and I don't want her to start thinking about marriage now. I wish for her to go to school. But my husband, we don't have money to send her to school, and Emeka had promised to train her. I don't see where the problem is here if you ask me. Emeka is a fine man with plenty money, Mama Amanda said, trying to reason with her husband. My dear, no, I can't let our daughter marry him. She's too young. God will make a way for us to send her to school. And I don't want to hear of this issue ever again. I don't want Amanda to hear anything, Nnamdi said, warning his wife. A few weeks passed since Emeka's visit to Amanda's house, but he hadn't heard any reply. Emeka became worried. He couldn't afford to let Amanda slip off his hands. He decided to intensify his favors and gifts to Amanda's family, but Nnamdi rejected all his favors, telling him they were still thinking about his marriage proposal. Coincidentally, the deadline for JAMB registration for that year was drawing nearer. Amanda was increasingly worried that she was going to miss her chance that year. She reminded her parents every minute of the day, but there was no money to register her for JAMB. They had exhausted all the money from Emeka's contract on feeding the family. Amanda's parents were in panic mode. They knew if they couldn't come up with the JAMB money, their daughter would be so devastated, as she had been studying for JAMB every day for the past couple of months. A few days passed, and the JAMB registration deadline was just a few days away. Still no show. Amanda had given up hope. She was devastated truly. She started keeping to herself even more, staying hidden inside her room, and her parents felt helpless. One evening, Mama Amanda called her husband into the bedroom. My husband, do you like to see this girl sad like this? She has been studying for this JAMB for months now, and we cannot afford to register her. What do we do now? Mama Amanda asked with worry etched on her face. My dear, I'm as confused as you are. I feel like a failure as a father. She's so intelligent, yet we can't afford to send her to school. I have been thinking, maybe we should accept Emeka's offer to train her. Yes, my husband. I have been thinking the same thing too. But Amanda is not aware. She might not even like the idea. You know your daughter and her stubbornness. And another thing, what if she refuses to marry Emeka after he trains her in school? Mama Amanda asked. I have thought about that too, but there is a way around it. When we get to the river, we will cross the bridge. That night, they both agreed to tell Emeka that they have accepted his proposal. The next day, they sent Amanda on an errand and invited Emeka and told him they have accepted his proposal. Emeka was so happy that he dipped his hand into his pocket and brought out a huge chunk of new notes and gave it to Amanda's parents. In-law, I'm very happy about this news. Take this money to buy anything for my wife. As for her school fees, leave everything to me. I, Emeka, I will handle everything. Don't manage the money, there is more where that came from, Emeka said boastfully. That evening, Nnamdi gave his daughter money to register her JAMB. Amanda was first surprised where her parents got money on such short notice. Papa, where did you get money from? I have already given up hope for school, Amanda said as she beamed with excitement. My princess, don't worry about where I got money from. A friend of mine helped us, and don't give up hope because you are going to school. You are going to medicine school. You will study medicine and I will become Papa Doctor, Nnamdi said, smiling at his daughter. The next day, Amanda registered for JAMB, and in a few days, she wrote the exam and passed with flying colors. That same year, Amanda got admission into the university to study medicine with Emeka's money. Amanda resumed school like every other student. When she got to the campus, she had just one mission: to study very hard and make her parents proud. She vowed not to have a boyfriend or get distracted, as she thought her parents had probably borrowed money to put her in school, unbeknownst to her that it was Emeka's money. And Emeka, he was a good businessman who didn't like to count losses when it came to his investment. And Amanda was his investment. He followed her secretly to school to watch her if she was following other boys. He didn't want anything to happen to his precious woman, his investment. Emeka hired people to watch Amanda on campus and report every of her activity to him on a daily basis while he was home. When Emeka returned to the market, he couldn't stop bragging about his wife Amanda that he was training in the university to study medicine. The entire market buzzed with the news, and before you know it, the news reached the ears of Ijeoma, Emeka's long-term girlfriend. When she learned that Emeka had proposed marriage to another woman when she had been the one who was there for him when he had nothing, her stomach turned with anger. Impossible! That can never be. Emeka can never leave me after 10 years of relationship for a small girl. What does she have that I don't have? Ijeoma said, as fury clouded her vision. Without thinking, she stormed Mama Amanda's shed to confront her about the rumor going round in the market. Bia Mama Amanda, how can you be so wicked to your fellow woman? You know I have been with Emeka for years, yet you gave your small daughter to him. Why? Answer me now, she yelled. Ijeoma, please calm down. It is not like that oh. He just helped us with small money to send her to school. That's all oh. Mama Amanda lied to avoid Ijeoma's wrath. Lies! Mama Amanda, you are a liar. If not that I respect your husband, I would have beaten you black and blue. I'm warning you. You and your daughter should stay away from my man. Emeka is mine, she yelled as she stormed out. Still not feeling satisfied with threatening Mama Amanda, Ijeoma stormed Emeka's shop to demand an explanation. Emeka, what is this rubbish I'm hearing about you proposing to that small girl Amanda? Please tell me it is not true, Ijeoma said, shouting on top of her voice. But Emeka sat at his desk, not bothered, as he was filling an invoice for a customer's order. Ijeoma, known for her hot temper, grabbed the invoice without notice and ripped the entire book without a second thought. Emeka, I'm talking to you. Is it true? What is it, Ijeoma? Has your madness started again? What if I propose to another woman? What crimes did I commit? Emeka retorted, his voice filled with venom. Eh? What crimes have you committed? Emeka, so it is true. After everything I've done for you, this is how you repay me? I was there for you, feeding you and clothing you with my tailor business when you were still doing boy for your master. Now you have used me. You want to dump me. Emeka, never. Emeka, never. Ijeoma, stop making a fool of yourself. What did you do for me that I haven't repaid back? You fed me, yes, but I have given you plenty money. I never promised you marriage. Please leave my shop. Don't drive my customers away, Emeka said with irritation. His words cut Ijeoma like a knife. Without warning, the floodgates of tears broke open. Emeka, me. I should leave your shop. Emeka, me. You didn't promise me marriage. After all we have been together, Emeka, 10 years of my life, and now you throw away me like rag, Ijeoma said as tears streamed down her face. Her heart shattered into a million pieces. Her love trampled on. Her hope and dream torn into 1,000 pieces by Emeka, who just sat there without an iota of guilt. Ijeoma fell to her knees. Emeka, don't do this to me. I've given you my life, my love, my everything. Where do I start from? Please forgive me if I have offended you. I know I have sharp mouth, but please, I will change. Ijeoma begged desperately, ignoring the stares of the customers inside the maker's shop. Ijeoma, I don't love you anymore. Please go and find another man. Tell me any amount you need. I will give you for your troubles. Oh, please, Emeka said. After minutes of crying and begging, Ijeoma picked her sorry self from the floor, and as she left, she gave Emeka the last piece of her mind. Emeka, God will judge you. As you have disappointed me, somebody will disappoint you too. But Emeka couldn't care less about those empty threats. He felt rather liberated that Ijeoma was out of his life for good. Now, he could focus all his attention on his sweet Amanda. Ijeoma went home that day with tears and heartbreak. But after a few days, She packed up her shop and house and left the community. The shame and mockery was too much for her to bear. Moving forward, Amanda came home for her first semester holiday and she decided to help Amanda in the store in the market. As she walked through the familiar market road, she started hearing strange whispers about one Amanda and Emeka. At first, she ignored it because she was not the only Amanda in the community. But before she could take a few more steps, Mama Ngozi, one of the market women, shouted, "Ah, Emeka wife, you don't come back. Welcome oh," with a bright smile on her face. Me? Emeka's wife? Since when did I get married? All these market women and their gossip sef. Amanda thought to herself as she laughed it off and continued on her journey. But throughout that day, everybody kept on calling her Emeka's wife. As if that was not enough, the next day, Emeka showed up at their house unannounced, as if he owned the place. "Good afternoon, sir." Amanda greeted, not to sound rude. "Ah, Amanda, how are you doing? How is school?" Emeka greeted with a bright smile that was just too friendly. "I'm fine, sir. School is fine." "Come on, don't call me sir. I'm not that old. I just look older than my age, eh?" "But sir, what do I call you now?" Amanda asked. "Eh, you can call me Emeka. I'm young oh. I'm a young man." "No, I can't call you by your name oh. I will call you Uncle Emeka," Amanda replied. Emeka was not too happy that his wife-to-be was not free with him, but he masked his disappointment with a smile. "My parents are not back yet to Uncle Emeka," Amanda said, trying to get rid of Emeka and his weird smiles and stares. I know. I came to see my wife," Emeka said as he gently brushed Amanda's shoulder with his hands. Amanda swiftly moved her shoulder away from Emeka's touch and she glared at him. "Uncle Emeka, what do you think you are doing? Who is your wife? When did I agree to marry you? Please sir, don't ever call me your wife again. And don't touch my shoulder. It can be considered as harassment," Amanda said with anger as she asked Emeka to leave their house. Emeka left Amanda's house with embarrassment and shock. But did Nnamdi not tell his daughter about me? That she's my wife? Why is she not behaving strange towards me? Or has she started following all those small boys? She better not oh. She's mine," Emeka muttered to himself. As so many thoughts flew through his head, that day he went to Nnamdi's shed and told him about Amanda's behavior towards him. Emeka, how can you do that? She's a small girl oh. Is it because she has big body? If you approach her like that, she will run away oh. Her mother was like that too. Women need patience. Allow her to mature first before you start approaching her," Nnamdi said. "Oh, okay, but I wanted to see my wife. I couldn't control myself. That was why I went to your house to see her. I will be patient. I will wait for her. After all, she's my wife," Emeka said, shining his teeth like Christmas goat. From that moment on, Emeka never approached Amanda directly. He only admired his wife-to-be from a distance. He took Nnamdi's advice seriously, but he didn't stop lavishing money on Amanda and her family. One day, his friend Gozie came to his shop to see him. Emeka and Gozie served the same oga, so they have known each other for many years. As they sat in Emeka's shop, he couldn't stop talking about his wife Amanda, who was in medical school. "Nna man, if you see that girl she's so beautiful. Mwah. I can't wait for her to finish school so I can marry her," he said. "But wait oh, you mean you are training a girl in the university, hoping she would marry you when she graduates? Who still does that in this day and age? It's like raising a chicken as a pet. What if she meets another man?" Gozie said. "Forget that thing, my guy. I'm a very smart man. I have people watching her every move. If anything happened, they would report to me, fiam," Emeka said boastfully. "Eh? Is that why you drove Ijoma away? Be careful oh. This thing might not end well," Gozie advised his friend, but he didn't listen. Amanda was his to marry. One day, as Emeka was in his shop selling, his phone rang and the caller was one of his men that he employed to watch Amanda in school. The caller told Emeka that he saw Amanda with another man and she was laughing and smiling with the man. The caller sent Emeka the pictures of Amanda and the said man standing together. When Emeka opened his WhatsApp and saw his wife standing with another man, not just standing, but smiling at the man, he saw red. He didn't care who the man was. Immediately, he sent all his customers out of his shop and locked up, and he drove straight to Amanda's campus, which was hours away. Emeka traced the man to his house and threatened him to stay away from his wife. "Come, you this chingum boy, let me not see your cockroach leg near my woman. If not, this campus will burn." The young man was shocked at Emeka's outburst. He didn't know him from anywhere. Which wife was he talking about? But before he could even ask who his wife was, Emeka had entered his car and driven off. That was the same pattern for years. Emeka would trace any boy who spoke to Amanda to their houses and threaten them. Before you know it, 6 years passed and Amanda graduated. You would be thinking Amanda would just marry Emeka and they would live happily ever after. But the drama is only just beginning. Amanda went home after her graduation to prepare for her compulsory 1-year housemanship. In just a few days after she arrived, her parents started talking to her about getting married. At first, Amanda brushed it off, but one evening, her parents called her into the living room, telling her it was time for her to get married. Amanda was confused and furious at her parents' insistence. "Papa, Mama, why are you rushing me to marry? I thought you have always wanted me to go to school and become a doctor. Why are you telling me about marriage now that I haven't even become a real doctor yet?" "My daughter, it is not like that. But you are already a doctor now, Abi. You have gone to medicine school. Why don't you just marry now and settle down? Husband is scarce, my daughter. Marry now that you are still young." Oh, Nnamdi said. "Papa, I'm not ready for marriage. I still have 1-year house job to do and 1-year youth service before I can even think about getting married." 2 years is too far, oh, my daughter. Add 2 years to your age and you're already becoming old, oh. What do you think about Emeka? He is a good man and he likes you. In fact, he has been liking you since before you entered school. Good for him, but I don't like him. He's not my type. He's too old for me. I would love to marry my age range," Amanda said with irritation. Nnamdi and his wife stared at each other with worry on their faces. There was fire on the mountain, but they couldn't tell their daughter about the deal they had with Emeka years ago. And Emeka, he had been waiting patiently for Amanda to graduate, and now that she had graduated, he couldn't wait to claim his investment, his prize. A few months passed, and Amanda started doing her house job at the state hospital, much to Emeka's disappointment. He had asked Amanda's parents for bride price list, but they kept telling him to be patient for Amanda to finish her service. Emeka was getting impatient. He wanted to marry Amanda immediately. All those youth service excuses were noise in his ear. One day, he went to Amanda's house to ask her parents why they were delaying him. "Emeka, be patient. Amanda said she won't get married until she finishes her service. What can we do? Can we force her to marry you now? Be patient. We are talking to her every day on your behalf. I'm sure she will change her mind soon," Nnamdi said, trying to reassure Emeka. Emeka was not happy with their response. "But, in-law, I thought she would marry me immediately after school. Which one is service and house job again? I didn't sign up for this. I want my wife," Emeka said. But Amanda's parents pleaded with him to be more patient while they convinced their daughter. Emeka left Amanda's house with a broken spirit. He didn't appreciate this delay. He thought he would marry Amanda immediately she finished school. He wanted to settle down immediately with her. Time was no longer on his side, as he was now in his late 40s. That evening, when Amanda returned from the hospital, her parents sat her down and revealed everything to her, how Emeka had trained her in school so she could marry him. "What? Papa, are you joking? So Emeka saw me through school?" And you promised me to him? How could you do that? Did you even consider my choice in this matter? What kind of parents are you, trying to sell their daughter? No, my daughter, don't talk like that. Emeka has really helped this family, and you will owe him your education. If you look very well, he is not a bad choice in a man. He is handsome and rich, even though he is not educated. But that is why you went to school, to supplement. Please think about it very well. Mama Amanda said, Mama, never. I will never marry Emeka. I don't love him. I wasn't even aware when you made that deal with him, so I won't be a part of it. You have to look for another daughter to marry him, but not me, Mama. I won't sell myself to him. Amanda said, fuming with anger. Her parents tried to convince her, but she was firm in her decision. Days turned into weeks and into months. Amanda didn't change her mind. She finished her house job at the state hospital and moved to Abuja to do a national youth service. And Emeka, who was feeling like he had been deceived, started making threats to Amanda's parents. If I can't have her, nobody else can. No. You better tell your daughter to accept my proposal. Else, this community will not contain all of us. I have invested my time and money, so she must marry me, oh, he said to Nnamdi one afternoon. Another year passed and Amanda finished her service, but she returned home with news of her engagement to another man, a northern man. Fear gripped her parents. How will they explain this to Emeka, who had been waiting for 8 years? They called their daughter one evening, begging her to marry Emeka, else war would break out. Ada, as her father fondly calls her, please pity your parents. We have beaten more than we can chew. Emeka has been waiting to marry you for 8 years. He has invested money, time and energy. How do I tell him that you want to marry another man? Reason it now, my daughter. Please save us. If not, this community will not contain us. Papa, that's your cup of tea. I didn't ask you to make marriage deal on my behalf. I can't marry him because he trained me in school. Tell him to calculate all the money he spent on us and I will pay him double. That is the most I can do. That night, Nnamdi and his wife couldn't sleep. They haven't been able to change their daughter's mind. And they know that Emeka would never let her marry another man without a fight. They were in hot soup. The next day, Nnamdi and his wife went to Emeka's house to tell him that their daughter had refused to accept him, and they offered to pay him all the money he spent, even double. But Emeka flared up and threw them out of his house, threatening that no other man can have his wife Amanda. The battle between Emeka and Amanda continued, and Emeka's obsession grew into something darker. He vowed and swore that he would destroy Amanda since she had refused him. All efforts to settle the matter proved abortive. Amanda didn't want to marry Emeka, and Emeka swore never to let her go. A few months later, Amanda brought her northern man home to introduce him to her parents. Though they were against the union, but they reluctantly accepted the northern man because Amanda had threatened to disappear to the north with her lover never to return. When Emeka heard the news, his stomach twisted in anger. Bitterness consumed his entire being. So this girl thinks she can marry another man in peace. If I can't have her, I will destroy her. I, Emeka, I will make her life miserable. As Nnamdi and his wife think they can scam me and go scot-free, I will make them shed tears, he said as he gritted his teeth, planning his next move. A few days later, Amanda went to the market to buy some foodstuff. As she was walking in the market, Emeka sighted her from a distance, and pain and bitterness gripped him. So I'm going to lose this girl to another man? After all the money and time I have spent? No, never, he muttered to himself as he stared at Amanda from a distance. Amanda was oblivious to the fact that somebody in the person of Emeka was watching her with bitterness in his heart. That day, something happened. Emeka, who couldn't control his emotion, ran to the back of his shop and grabbed a keg of petrol. Without thinking, he ran to where Amanda stood pricing an item with a market woman. Without notice, He pushed Amanda with a great force and she fell to the floor. Before she could react, Emeka emptied the keg of petrol on Amanda, who was still trying to get her balance on the floor. And before anybody could say jack, he brought out a match to burn Amanda alive. Amanda screamed for her dear life, fearing this was her last day on earth. But thankfully, the market men grabbed him before he could light the match. They held him down. Emeka, what are you trying to do? You want to kill somebody? You will go to jail, oh, one of the market men said. Leave me, you people should leave me. Let me go to jail. After all I've done for her, she said she will not marry me. She said I'm too old, that I'm old school. If I can't have her, then I will destroy her. Leave me, Emeka said as he struggled to free himself from the men's grip. Amanda got the shock of her life that day. She ran as fast as her leg could carry her to her house and told her parents what had happened. That night, Amanda and her parents fled the community in the middle of the night to Abuja. You will think the drama has ended here, right? But you are wrong. The saga continues. When Emeka heard that Amanda and her parents had fled overnight, his anger increased 100-fold. His bitterness deepened. He demolished Nnamdi's vulcanizer shed and Mama Amanda's kiosk in the market. But his anger wasn't satiated. He went to Amanda's compound and smashed all the glass windows, leaving a trail of mess behind. Nobody dared to intervene for fear of Nnamdi's wrath. That day, Emeka went home broken-hearted and betrayed. When he got home, he bursted into tears and cried bitterly, and he vowed to make Amanda's life miserable. But from that moment, Emeka's life became miserable. He couldn't heal or move on from the betrayal he got from Amanda. Consequently, he used his bitterness and anger to drive all his faithful customers, and his thriving business started going down. But Emeka didn't care. He was concerned about revenge. Years passed, and Emeka was still as vengeful, as bitter as he was years ago. His big business had collapsed. All his customers flocked to other sellers in the market, as Emeka was always very hostile towards them. His entire life was in decline. His aged parents had begged him to forget Amanda and marry another woman, but he refused. After all attempts to get him to move on and settle down proved abortive, his family took matters into their own hands and married a wife for him. But that didn't make things any better. Emeka directed all his bitterness and hatred to the poor woman, lashing out at her every day and insulting her, calling her names. And even when they had 2 children together, Emeka was still a bitter man. I know you might be wondering about Amanda. Well, things didn't go well for her either. In fact, after they fled the community, her life became miserable. Her fiancé abandoned her at the altar on their wedding day and traveled abroad without any explanations or goodbyes. As if that was not enough, Amanda lost her job, and anytime she started a relationship with any man, they would all break up with her and ghost her for no reason at all. Amanda, who was a graduate of medicine and surgery, now worked as a sales girl in a supermarket. Her parents saw her condition and they knew the root cause of all their daughter's misfortune. One day, after they had had enough of their suffering, they decided to go home and make peace with Emeka. That same week, Amanda and her parents returned to the community with their tails between their legs in shame. When Emeka heard that Amanda and her parents had returned with nothing but the clothes on their back, he laughed in victory. I told them I would show them pepper. They think they can mess with me and go scot-free. Never. Emeka, by the time I'm done with them, they will come and beg me to marry their daughter. That Amanda, she will come and beg me as my second wife, he boasted. For the next couple of weeks, Amanda and her parents went to Emeka's shop to beg him for forgiveness for wasting his time and money on Amanda and promised to return every penny he spent on them, but Emeka refused. Every time, he would chase them out of his shop with a machete. This continued for months, and Nnamdi decided to take the matter to the Obi's palace in the community, hoping to get settlement. The Obi invited Emeka, Nnamdi, and some council elders. When everybody gathered in the Obi's living room, he asked both Nnamdi and Emeka to explain their side of the story that had resulted in such a huge conflict. Nnamdi said his side, and Emeka, who was beyond bitter, narrated all what he went through and how he had lost everything because of Amanda and her family. The Obi was weak to his bones on hearing the story. He sighed deeply and began in a low but steady voice. Nnamdi, I know you to be an upright man, but what you did to your kinsman is very wicked and selfish. Why did you not discuss with your daughter first if she would like to marry Emeka before you started accepting money and gifts from him? Your actions has caused this man great pain. He lost money, time, and his business, which was the greatest and biggest in this community, had collapsed because of your greed. However, we are here for settlement, so you both can stop killing and fighting yourselves. Here is my judgment. Since you intentionally deceived your kinsman, you will pay a fine of 50,000 naira and a very big she-goat, and Emeka would calculate all he spent on your daughter's school fees, and you will pay him back double, the Obi said. Emeka was not happy with the Obi's judgment. He didn't want money. He wanted Amanda. As he was grumbling with anger on his face, the Obi turned to him. Emeka, my son, I know you are not too happy with my judgment, but what has happened has happened. Please accept the money and forgive, the Obi said. Igwe, with all due respect, I don't want money. I want Amanda. I've spent too much on her to let her go, Emeka said angrily. But the Obi only smiled at him and replied, Emeka, you are already married with 2 children. Allow that poor girl to marry in peace. And don't forget about the incident at the market when you almost burnt her alive. You think I don't know about that? I heard about it. You will accept the money from Nnamdi and his family, and you will undo all you have done against them. It is forbidden for any member of this community to use juju on his kinsman. The punishment for such act is death. The Obi warned sternly, his face now serious. You two are not innocent. You have offended people in the past, but they didn't demand for your head on a spike. So Emeka, I order you to undo all you have done against Nnamdi and his family and accept the compensation they would offer. Let bygones be bygones. Emeka left the palace with anger on his face, but he knew better not to go against the Obi's command, as he could lose his life. So that day, he went home and calculated all he spent on Amanda and handed the list to Nnamdi. When Nnamdi saw the list, his heart nearly gave out. The total amount he calculated ran into millions. His family didn't have such amount anywhere, but they would work day and night to pay Emeka every penny back so they can be free of him. Nnamdi and Emeka went back to the palace the next day, and Emeka handed their treasures list to the Obi. When the Obi saw it, he only shook his head and smiled. Well, Nnamdi, that serves you right for cheating your fellow man. You could have gone to borrow loan to train your daughter. People borrow loans to train their daughters in school. But no, you decided to leech off your fellow man. The Obi gave Nnamdi and his family 10 years to pay back the money to Emeka. He divided the payment into months. He warned Nnamdi not to default in his monthly payment to Emeka until every penny is repaid. Months later, things started going well for Amanda. She got a job at the state hospital and was able to comfortably pay Emeka every month. A year later, Amanda met a handsome man named Ndubisi. They met at the hospital where she worked, and they fell in love with each other. Shortly afterwards, they got married. Ndubisi was a very wealthy man and very sweet. He helped his wife clear all his debts to Emeka and established Amanda's parents with a big tire business in another market far from Emeka. Ndubisi relocated abroad with his wife Amanda, leaving Emeka and the community behind for good this time around. Hi lovelies, what do you think of this story? Who is at fault in this story? Is it Emeka? Is it Nnamdi? Or is it Amanda? What would you have done if you were Emeka? What would you have done if you were Amanda? Please let me know in the comment section below. The moral of this story is that honesty is the best policy. Do not promise what you cannot fulfill. And do not cheat another man for your own gains. Thank you for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up if you are still watching this video up to this point. Subscribe to our channel if you haven't done so. And until I bring another juicy and interesting story your way again, bye for now.